CEO and co-founder of WorkSource. And I would love it, Chase, if you could describe to us your journey through the VA world, a little bit about your journey in real estate, and why and how you decided to form WorkSource with your partners. And then I'll ask you those interview questions that I have for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to explain, how I got from A to B, and I'll try and make it quick. So just real quick, I'm a super nerd, right? I love to learn how things work. I should have been an engineer. I'm very process oriented, and how my brain works is I like to learn something, try and figure out everything about it, tweak it, optimize it, make it better. Then I'll test it to see if I actually did make it better. And then I'll pour gasoline on the fire to really stress the system. And then once I think I have it perfect, I want to outsource that thing and never do it again. And that treated me really well throughout my real estate career, as I was actively helping people buy and sell properties. So when I got into real estate, I knew absolutely nothing about it. And I joined a brokerage who did multifamily transactions. And the brokerage was crushing it. But if you look behind the scenes, it was a little chaotic because they didn't have any systems, training, or processes in place. And that scared me because that's not who I am. And what I did is I started writing everything down as I was doing it because I wanted to remember what I was doing. And within the span of about 6 months of just documenting the processes, the brokerage made me their lead buyer's agent because they could trust that I would get things done the same way every single time. And I created repeatability, and we could scale because of that. So I went from knowing nothing in real estate to 6 months to being the lead buyer's agent for this multifamily brokerage. And what ended up happening was we got so good at it, we really refined everything, and we turned up the marketing. So we started doing more and more and more deals because we could handle it. But then we hit a ceiling. We ran out of time. And it's like, okay, what are we going to do now? Are we just going to continue working like mad and not make any more money? Are we going to stop here, or are we going to bust through this ceiling? And I had so we decided to break through the ceiling, and we were going to use people leverage for that. And we decided to use virtual assistants for that because it's a very, very, very cost-effective way to duplicate yourself. And because I'm a nerd and I like to learn everything before I get started, I started reading a lot of books. I listened to all the podcasts, watched a lot of videos, and I probably invested, thousands of dollars in it, tens of thousands of dollars, and like 100 to 500 hours and just nerding out on it. And that's really when
you must have read like every book out there.
Oh, dude, a lot. Like anytime I was in the car, I was listening to something. And because I wanted to be able to like seamlessly integrate these virtual assistants into it. And what I found was that it was a dumpster fire bringing on virtual assistants. And, a lot of the books I read were fantastic, like 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss is one of my favorite books. And he's got a lot of great tips for how to hire a virtual assistant. And another one I read was Virtual Freedom by Chris Ducker. It's a 200-page book on how to hire a virtual assistant. Again, lots of tips and tricks on how to hire virtual assistants. But while 1 or 2 of them worked, the majority of them didn't work because real estate agent businesses are extremely different from your normal business that you're going to read about, or that is an easy fit for a virtual assistant, because we do things very differently. And most virtual assistants don't understand what a real estate agent business is like, what's important, what they need to do, how to run a transaction, how do you support an agent. So through the span of about 2 years, I recently went back and counted. I hired 30 virtual assistants in my real estate agent business. 30. I'm 30, and I have 3 of them with me still. That's it. The others just came and went, for better or worse. And so over this period of 2 years, as I was hiring these initial ones, I went through that process of, okay, what worked, what didn't work, how can I make this better, and finally crack the code, as you mentioned, on what do we need to do with virtual assistants to seamlessly integrate them into our business so they can hit the ground running on day one, not have to babysit them, because, oh my goodness, like the first few that I hired, it was like a second full-time job, just managing them and answering all their questions and like making me question why am I doing this? This makes no sense. Let me just not do this and continue
That
making
Chase
some money.
was my experience with several of the VAs that I fired. They were smart people. I thought they were going to be great. I hired them, and then it was a full-time job babysitting them. It was like they were incapable of doing their job.
And these people are brilliant. But as I was doing this, I kept looking at it and like, why did this one work out? Why did this one work out? Why did not this one work out? And then I had this like blinding flash of the obvious of what's the common denominator.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I am the common.
So what am I doing? How can I fix it to get to this level? And then I realized other people were experiencing the same thing. You see all these other companies out there like, hey, hire our virtual assistants for $3 or $5 an hour. And if you get lucky, you can get a good one, but you might have to go through 30 of them like I did to get lucky or to figure out the process. Right. So I just realized there was a need for other people, and you can go out and hire a virtual assistant yourself, spend two years wanting to pull your hair out, or you can expedite the process, have one of our fully trained virtual assistants onboarded and ready to go. If you signed up today, you could be having a fully trained VA working in your business in like 4 weeks.